am Sue Webley. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. I see you coming in on Instagram. Hey, Instagram crew. I see you coming in on Facebook and YouTube and on LinkedIn and all of the places that we are currently live. So thank you for joining us this morning. I'm so excited about the conversation that I'm getting ready to have with my dear friend, DANI. But before then, we have to do a little bit of housekeeping. If you have joined us for the very first time and you don't know who I am and what this show is all about, let me tell you, I am your host. I am Sue A. Webley. I'm an author, entrepreneur, I'm award-winning minister, and I'm the founder of Cara Solutions LLC, which is a full-service digital agency that helps individuals and organizations navigate the virtual space with confidence. And so Inspire is a live interview style broadcast where we have empowering conversations to promote positive change. We are on a mission to encourage, empower, and embolden individuals to create change in their personal lives, their communities, and in the world. And so as our wonderful guests, our entrepreneurs, influencers, creatives, and others share their testimonies, tips, and tools with us, we hope that you who are watching, you who are tuning in, will be inspired to elevate your mindset, to pursue your dreams, and to do, as the late Dr. Katie Geneva Cannon put it so eloquently, the work your soul must have. We are live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on Instagram. I see you coming in. I want you to do me a favor. Please share this conversation. Please share it with your network, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it. And while you're sharing, I want you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Connect, follow, like, and subscribe. I am building up. If you've been with me since the beginning, you know that we started off with Cara Solutions, which is my company, but I am building up the Inspire platforms. And so I want you to follow me on Inspire with Sue on Facebook and on Instagram. Also head over to our website at www.getinspired.live to find out about Inspire and to book your appearance. If you are someone, let me get this up on the screen. If you are someone you know is on a mission to create change while inspiring others to do the same, we want to hear from you. We want you to join us in a conversation on a future episode of Inspire. So you can book that right on our getinspired.live website. You can also listen later on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We're Inspired with Sue on all of those platforms. Now, before I begin to greet the wonderful people who are joining us today, I want to be sure that you know, and I will repeat this as we go forward our conversation today. We are going to be touching on some subject matter that might be triggering, and so I want you to know that in our audience today are mental health professionals that are here to support you. If you hear something, if something comes up for you that triggers you, and you need support, support is available for you today, live right now in our audience. And so you can always inbox me. If something is said and you need support, you need to speak to someone, inbox me. I will make sure that you get that I will send you to one of our mental health professionals who's joining us today. And as always, and I will keep this up for the duration. If you need support, you can always text 988 to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. 988. Text 988 to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. And so we thank our professionals who have joined us today to ensure that our audience is supported in the ways that they need to be supported today. So I'm going to put that back up, this text. I'll put it back up once we begin our conversation with Danny. But you know how I do. You know how I do. What are you sipping on this morning? What are you drinking? What are you drinking? Where's my cup? Now y'all know I got coffee in my cup, okay? And I actually have, because I'm a little tired, I actually have caffeinated coffee in my cup this morning. So what are you drinking? What are you sipping on? Is it coffee? Is it tea? Is it water? Is it orange juice, apple juice? Is it a smoothie? Is it a little something stronger? I'm not judging you, y'all. If you got a little something stronger in your cup, I'm not judging you. So tell me where you're watching from and what you are sipping on as I sip my coffee. Jesus, good. Woo. Anyway, I often tell the story that I grew up on tea. I didn't grow up, I'm from Yard, so I grew up on tea, right? Tea drunk the British way with milk in it, and didn't start drinking coffee until I started working for corporate America, and it stuck. So I thank God for the coffee bean, and then giving us the intelligence to roast that thing and put some hot water and add some cream and sugar to it. Amen. So what are you sipping on? What are you sipping on? Let's see. Oh, I see you. Good morning, Chuck Hunt. Let me tell you, Chuck Hunt supports. If you ever need somebody to support you, Chuck Hunt will do it. I have not met this brother in person, but Chuck Hunt is on every Saturday and was on and posting before we even went live. So Chuck Hunt, brother, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Good morning to you. Bishop Bonnie Radden, one of our professionals, is on. Good morning to you, Bishop Bonnie. Good morning to you, Pastor Joyce Radden, who is also one of our professionals. Hey, Maya, good morning. And Maya has tea in her cup this morning. Maya has tea in her cup this morning. Dave Tony, dear brother, good morning to you. Checking it with Dave is hanging out in Atlanta and got a you better come on, Mimosa. Come on, Mimosa. Thank you for joining us, dear brother. Pastor Joyce has is it Bay or Bay? I never don't know how to pronounce that, but coconut H2O. And then of course the Raddens are joining us from Las Vegas. So you know it's early in the morning. It's early in the morning. Hey, Instagram crew, what are you where? Oh my God. So I'm so excited because we're going to talk about Miss Greenleaf, who has joined us. We're going to talk about that. Thank you, Joyce Greenleaf, for joining us on Instagram. Minister Sandy, I see you. You are joining us from California, just hydrating this morning. Listen, I know y'all love me and love Inspire because you are coming in from California. What time? It's like 7:00 there, ain't it? That means you had to get up a little early to get yourself ready to be on here. So thank you for joining us today from California. I see all of you on Instagram. Mindset Monarchy. Of course, again, Miss Joyce Greenleaf. Hey, Mamita. Listen, the people are coming in. Do me a favor again and share and share some more. Thank you for sharing with me where you're watching from and what's in your cup. Make sure you tag somebody in our conversation today. We're going to move forward. We're going to move forward because there's so much to talk about. And so we are getting ready to introduce our guest for today, my dear friend of 25 years. We talked before we went live, and Danny reminded me that we met in 1996. And I'm going to share a little bit of that story once she gets on screen. Once she gets on screen, but I just want to give her a proper introduction. Hailing from Harlem, New York, Danny's journey is one of resilience, creativity, and advocacy. From a traumatic childhood to becoming a recording artist, an ordained deacon, and the founder of Sandy Apple's Healthier Meal Options, Danny has worn many hats in her quest to make a positive impact on the world. Her latest venture brings her back to her first love, writing. With her memoir, Pretty Little Bastard Child, Danny shares her story of darkness, resilience, and the transformative power of faith. So join us as we delve into Danny's journey and the lessons that she has learned along the way. And as we get ready to meet her, let's take a look. This is her video ad for her book.
This is your girl, Danny. Yes, Chef Danny, recording artist Danny, Deacon Danny. But now I'm an author. I've always been an author, but now I'm serious about it. I'd like to introduce you to my memoir, Pretty Little Bastard Child. It's a memoir of the darkness that turned on God's light. Now, I'm going to give you a trigger warning. If, in fact, you haven't dealt with your healing, then this ain't the book for you. But I want to get you to a place where you can deal with some healing, because your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. Atlanta, I'm talking to you directly. I'm coming to you June 21st. I'm going to be there with hugs, with smiles, and with your girl, Danny, and these books. Listen, if you want an autographed copy before then hit me up on any of my socials. I'm on Instagram at authordanny.d3. I'm on Danielle Dubois Matthews Facebook, and I'm right here whenever you need me. So check this out. I'm going to see you in June, 1650 Marietta Boulevard. Okay. If you're a vendor, it's going to be a whole day full of good stuff. You're going to have a vendor's bazaar. We're going to have an after party, and we're going to have me reading some excerpts from the book. So check this out. I want to see you there. Peace.
All right.
I'm sorry, I was getting into the groove, y'all.
Good morning, Danny.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Oh,
Thank you
God.
so much, Sue, for having me on. Thank you so much, Miss G, Joycey, for tuning in from Cali. Thank you, everybody who is on this line. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So, I always, before we get into your excerpt, because you are going to kick us off with reading an excerpt of your book.
Yeah.
What are you sipping on this morning, Danny?
Well, I'm a chef, and I'm into healthier stuff nowadays. So I have a homemade kombucha that I made with mother, um, apple cider vinegar and elderberry juice and salsa. I have a soda stream that I make my own salsa water and ginger, and that's what I'm drinking on this morning. So good morning.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, that sounds real healthy. And what does all of that stuff do for your body?
Well, ginger is good for, it's a probiotic. It's good for gas. It's good for, vitality. Um, Apple cider vinegar helps with blood pressure and bunch of other stuff, and of course, elderberry helps with. It's a very strong antioxidant, and it helps with keeping that thing going. So,
Yeah.
but trust and know, about 7 o'clock this morning, I had a cup of coffee.
Kindred spirits. Oh.
Transparency moment. I have one cup of coffee a day. Sometimes it's mushroom, sometimes it's regular, but I do have
Yeah.
one cup a day.
Yes, I love the mushroom coffee. So I'm an advocate for that ever since Dr. Rainier turned me on to it, and so I love it. I love it, especially on the days where I have class very early, and it
Okay.
helps me out so very much. So you are here to talk about your book, and again, I mentioned earlier that we've known each other 25 years, right?
Yeah, a little bit
And
longer than that. Might even be a
a
little
little longer.
96, almost 30 years.
Oh my God!
96. We met in
Wow!
1996. It's 2024, baby.
What? Oh my goodness! Wow!
28
Wow!
years.
You
28
look
years.
good though.
Yeah,
Mama, you
it's long.
look good.
Long time. I'm only 25. I met you in embryo state,
But we have known each other so long. You were the one responsible for getting me back in church. Because I saw you walking around. Listen, I know God did it, but God used you to do it. And
Yes,
yeah, walking around with your Bible, and I couldn't
absolutely.
understand how
In
you
the
was walking
clubs,
around
in the
in the
clubs when you
club.
need to be. If you a Bible thumper, any Bible thumpers out there, okay? Let me just be very transparent. You can't sit in the pulpit and preach to the choir every Sunday. You got to
Mhm.
go to the clubs. You got to let them know that you have a life. You got to let them know that your four walls alone is not your church. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I digress.
but so grateful for you and for helping me get connected back to the divine. You were an integral part of that, and I love and appreciate you so much. But we are here to talk about your book, Pretty Little Bastard Child, which I have gone through and unpacked, and wow. So you're going to begin, uh, kick us off with reading our excerpt. I want to remind all of you, some of you who may have just joined us, that some of what you may hear today may be triggering. We do have mental health professionals sitting in our audience right now, If you are triggered by anything that you hear, if you need support, I'm going to make sure that we also have that hotline up, right? You can text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline if you need support. But if you need support today, inbox me, and I will be sure to get your information to one of our mental health professionals who's sitting with us, who came today for the purpose of supporting our audience members today. So thank you so much, all of you who showed up early this morning to make sure that our inspired audience is supported. Danny, I'm handing it over to you. Please read an excerpt of the book.
It was slowly approaching evening, but my visit was cut short. She must have had a conversation with my father. He seemed a little different. We almost immediately got my stuff and left to go to his car so he could take me home. Now, though I was young, I was very observant, and this ride was not the way we would usually go to my house, even though we had only driven there a couple of times. So now I'm baffled. Where are we going, Dad? Then the question started. So, do you have a boyfriend? Have you started having sex? Has your period started yet? All kinds of questions. So maybe he was taking the long way because he was trying to give me the daddy daughter conversation. I thought he would then get around to telling me that my behavior with my sister was wrong and blah, blah, blah. I felt awkward already because I got busted, because I answered all of his questions. He played music and then got very quiet. We drove a little further and then he got off the highway. We went to what seemed like a state park of some sort. He had a joint and he asked me if I smoked. This was the starting of the feelings that were all too familiar for me. I wouldn't let him know that I smoked because I was trying to keep some type of respect for myself. but he kept smoking. And then he reached for his zipper. And now I'm going to stop there and I'm going to cut to another part. All kinds of feelings were running through my head. Then the final blow came as he professed his justification. I was looking to find something in you that I never found in your mother.
Why did you choose that particular excerpt to read?
Because it's all too familiar. You know, I don't, I, it, my story is only unique because of me being whom I am. But it's so much hurt and pain in the African American community, in the woman community, in the LGBT community, and in life, period. You know, we're in a place right now where finally Black folks are starting to get it, that it's okay to go talk about your issues. But
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the world around you, there's so much hatred and there's so much pain. And hate comes from what? It's taught and it comes from not knowing.
Yeah.
Pain comes from something that was not absolved in you or not dealt with in you, and you're just bleeding out on people that didn't cut you. So it was at a place where, you know, that particular part of the book is, you know, it's the crux of this particular volume of the book.
Yeah.
um yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us. So again, I have I have the book in my hand, right? And I read it, and it is deeply, deeply transparent. I mean, you left nothing to the imagination in this book. And we are giving away a copy. Danny is giving away a copy of the book
Yeah, I
today.
am. Signed copy autograph.
So yeah, a signed autographed copy of that book. So make sure you begin putting hashtag inspire. Matter of fact, let me set that up right now. Put the hashtag inspire so that you can win for your chance at winning a copy of this book. So I just want to make sure that that is up, and so that we begin seeing those hashtags coming in. So it is deeply, deeply personal, deeply transparent. Why?
Why
Why did
not?
you write this book?
Why not? You know, I've been trying to get my book out since 2005.
Mm,
I was running around. I was a counselor. I was a substance abuse counselor and mental health counselor. I was running around. I became ordained as a deacon. I was head of the outreach ministry. I was sitting on the front of the pulpit, and I was, you know, I was sitting on the front pew, and I was healing everybody. And I
mm-hmm.
was walking around broken.
Jesus.
I was clean and sober. Until I wasn't. Let's just say that. I was running around with the weight of the world on my shoulders and with so many things because I cleaned up the outside, and
Yes.
and I looked like I had it all together. But there were some things that I didn't deal with. There was some hurt, there was some pain, there was some issues. And you know, most of my perpetrators were dead and gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was walking around, you, and you need to do, and I wasn't doing. So what I needed to do was get real transparent as to where my pain, because a lot of people saw that I was unraveling. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people saw that I was still hurting,
Yeah.
but I didn't know it
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
until it was apparent that there were some things that needed to be healed. So not only did I want to put it out there, because you know, people don't want to talk about their pain. People don't want to talk about their issues. People are afraid. And that was the other thing. For a long time I was afraid of what my sister, my stepmother, my father's ex-wife, my living relatives on my father's side would say, or how they would feel.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm hurting. You know, I had to heal. I had to, you know, speak my truth in order to really and fully do what God had called me to do, which is to help to make this place a better place than I found it.
Yeah. 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 Thank you for sharing that. How do you hope the book will impact the readers?
Well, my prayer is not to put it out there to hurt people. Of course not. My prayer is that the book will make you address maybe some things that you haven't dealt with in your own personal life. Number one. Number two, um, I want to touch the people who have a LGBTQ plus child who might not have shared their trauma or who is going through their own confusion and they want so badly to share it with their parent, excuse me, who again might be in the church or might not be in the church and might have just their own agenda and their own stuff going on, and they silence their kid. And not only do they silence them, but they put them out to the street, to the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to cause a whole lot more trauma, if not death. Because I only sit here by God's grace, and make no mistake, I am so much aware of that. And this is the first volume. So, there's some other stuff that is waiting for them. And if you really love your children, if you really love humanity and you're a human being, then you want to open up a dialogue. There has to be.
Yeah.
Love is what's missing in this world. My prayer is, by me sharing my trauma, and along the way, the people and the events that happen to pull me through and give me something to hold on. And we'll get to that, in
Yeah.
a minute. But
Mm-hmm.
he always placed some people in my life to let me know that, look, that's not the way that you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to feel.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is waiting for you over here. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, once again, thank you everyone for joining us. We are speaking with DANI, who is the author of Pretty Little Bastard Child, a memoir of the darkness that turned on God's light. We are giving away a copy of the book, so make sure that you put the hashtag inspire without the D at the end. We want to be sure that if any of you, as you listen to our conversation today, if you need support, if you are triggered, I want you to know that we have mental health professionals in the chat right now in our audience that are prepared to speak with you. So feel free to inbox me directly if you need support, and I will make sure that I get your information over to one of our mental health professionals who have joined us today for the express purpose of offering their support to those of you who are watching. Also, across the screen, see the ticker at the bottom. If you don't want to speak to one of our professionals today, and you would like to speak to the crisis hotline, the National Crisis Lifeline, rather, that information is tickering across the bottom of the screen. And if you have any questions for DANI, please feel free to post them, and I will be sure to make sure that she is able to respond to them. Can you share, DANI, some of the some examples of the specific themes in the book? We got a little taste of it in your excerpt. What are some other things that you talk about in this book?
Can we all just get along? As you'll find out, and I'm so grateful for Joyce. That is, there is no black and white in my eye. There is, hate is taught. So the theme of, oh, the white man this, the white man that resonates, especially now that this hate monger thing is back so live and willing. I am so grateful for the divide that I learned. It's so funny because Joyce, my sixth grade teacher, whom, the book talks about, was
Yes.
the first person in my life that taught me the national Black anthem.
Wow.
She's not a Black lady. So, when y'all, when not when y'all, but when people want to talk about, oh, you're white and this is that and that's that, I had to shut that down. Number one, I'm a mulatto child. Number two, I've never seen color. What is color? You know what I'm saying? We all have to get along. We all have to know that love is what unites us.
Yes, yes.
And the theme, There are times, it's not all about, even though it's true, raw, real transparency.
Mhm.
The truth comes in the fact that, again, God continually put people in my life that wanted to love me, that
Mhm.
wanted to bring me to health. And it's the love unites is the biggest part of this book,
Yeah. Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
the trauma.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me read some of the comments that have come in. Actually, I will do what I really don't normally do and put them up on the screen for y'all. So, Bishop Body says, this is many other story in the church. It's why I became a mental health professional. Alexandria says, sounds like me. I do know I need to be healed from the inside out. Oh my gosh. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank
sharing
you.
that. She says, I want to talk about it to whom, but to whom that truly care to listen. Listen, Alexandria, we have people here right now. You know, of course, God will listen, but we got mental health professionals right now in this audience that is ready to speak to you. If you need support, you need somebody to talk to right now. So please go ahead and inbox me. Even if you don't follow me on Facebook, inbox me. I will check to make sure that I get your information and get you over to someone that can help you today. Thank you so much for being so transparent, Alexandria. The community, yes, it says, I grieve for all of the kids who have never known safety or unconditional love without harm. It breaks humans often for life. This is so true. This is so true. Thank you so much. Dave says, speak. This is going to help people. Listen, this is um this is a show today. There was somebody gonna get healed today. Amen.
Amen.
Bishop Bonnie
Amen.
did, yes, Bishop Bonnie did uh say something to you, Alexandria. So if you want to inbox her uh directly, you can do that as well. You can do that as well. She's here to help you. She's here to help you. I want this healing for myself and to heal my daughter. We need this. Whew, Jesus.
Hallelujah. Hey, hey, God, thank you. That's why I wrote my book.
Whew.
Yes, God.
Yes, we're grateful. Bishop Bonnie has a question for you. She says, how do you start your healing and how do you continue to heal?
Well, I don't remember when it started, but I do remember after years of abusing myself with drugs and alcohol and everything else that could take me far, far away from my reality, where at that point was just nil. It was like I had attempted suicide a couple of times. It didn't work. I wanted to die, but I was scared to try again and possibly end up with somebody else who couldn't protect me, having to
Mm,
take care of me. I got clean. And that was the first thing. That was the first part to my healing, to actually feel for the first time in many, maybe since I was like 7 or 8 years old when I picked up my first joint and my first glass of alcohol.
mm,
To drown out, to self medicate. When I put down the drugs and the alcohol, that was the first step towards me healing. Um, and then I think when I went to therapy for the first time, but every time I would peel a couple of layers off, I would stop and I would start focusing on other things instead of continuing to dig deeper. And then unfortunately my mother died, so I didn't
mm.
have the luxury to actually work through some of the pain with her, being that
Yes.
she was a very big part of a lot of the pain because she didn't protect me.
Yeah.
um I had to heal after her death and then after my father's death. And then, that was grieving on top of trying to heal that I wasn't really healing. So let me focus on something else. I didn't have my drugs and my alcohol. But when I got to the point after a very, very damning relapse after being clean and sober for 20 years,
Hmm. Hmm.
I realized at that point that I really, really wasn't doing the work that I preached to other people to do.
Mm.
It was self, God, self, then others. And
Yeah.
I forgot that. I learned and learned to love God, but I put still everybody else and everything else in front of me.
Yeah.
And you know, a very shameful relapse after being an ordained deacon, after being clean and knowing what to do after 20 years, got me to the point where it was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna step away from everybody and I'm gonna reinvent Danny, but I'm gonna
Mm,
get to Dee Dee, the little girl, first. So until you go back and address those issues from childhood, it's just like the Freudian theory. Most of us still that those years between 1 and 6 years old are where you're going to learn everything. I started being touched at 3, 4,
mm,
and forward. So everything that I dealt with was something that was negative.
yes.
So it taught me anger, it taught me distrust, it taught me all of those things. And then I built this guard around myself so you couldn't get too close to me because if you got close to me, you were going to hurt me. So I had to learn how to start to trust me. I
Mm-hmm.
no longer was going to allow me to hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to put me first. That's the God. And that's when the healing started to come. And that's why you're able to get this right now. Because I
Yes.
would not have been able to do this 15 years ago. As a deacon, clean and sober 15 years ago, before my relapse, I couldn't do this.
Yes. Whew. You take in the book, you take readers through the growth of what you call the monster, right? The monster inside of you.
Yeah.
And you were very careful and very intentional about
Mhm.
cataloging the
Yeah.
development from embryo to fetus
Yeah.
and onward. Why was that important? Why was it important for you to catalog it in that way?
Okay. Reason. We as women, we carry children, right? And we don't realize that thing is so spiritual. It's so, oh my God. Like, okay. And let me just say, I've never been pregnant. Well, I've been pregnant. We'll get to that in volume 2. But I've been pregnant, but I've never fully birthed a child, though
Mhm.
I've raised children, right? Um, my mother had issues. My mother had some serious, serious issues. And one of her biggest issues was with my dad. And I was his child that was growing inside of her. And she hated him. She hated the whole situation with him. She had her own daddy issues. And from in her womb, she transferred all of that to me.
Mm.
So before I was even born, I was already involved in a generational curse that I was getting
Yeah.
ready to bring into this world.
Yeah.
And we don't realize when we have unresolved anger towards baby daddies, it does spill over to the kid. The kid is already behind the 8 ball and doesn't have a chance. And we don't realize that. You know, you chose that father. That kid didn't choose that father. So now you have this kid, and this kid comes out looking just like their daddy.
Yeah.
And, and it's very possible that they're gonna have a whole bunch of characteristics just like their daddy. And you
Mhm.
got to look at their daddy all over again every time you look at that kid.
Yeah.
So it's very important that, you know, we understand that, you know, when we're out here laying down with people, it's very possible that you're going to get pregnant. Hello. And when you
Mhm.
get pregnant, it's very possible that now your feelings and your emotions towards however that thing happened are going to spill over into this child's life. So it was very
Yeah.
important for me to depict that because part of that was already predestined for the relationship later on with me and my mom. So
Yeah. 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 Oh, Jesus. Listen, the our audience, we do pass our trauma to our unborn. And I was speaking with my partner yesterday actually, and I said, you know, last year for Inspire, we did a Mother's Day special called the trauma of Black motherhood. But so many of us have not dealt with mother trauma,
mm, mm,
right? The trauma that we experience at the hands of our mothers
yeah,
um because they were unable to address their scars. You talk about your
yeah,
mom's scars, right?
yeah,
Um They were unable to address their scars. They haven't moved forward, especially those of us who have older mothers. um, where they were not, or maybe our mothers have passed on, were not able to address those things that they then bled on us. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm really considering um, having another special, but to talk about mother trauma. Again,
Yeah.
if you just joined us, thank you so much, Danny, for all that you have said so far about your book. If you have just joined us again, we are speaking with Danny, who is the author of Pretty Little Bastard, child, and we are this is her book, her memoir, where she gets deeply personal, deeply transparent about the trauma that she experienced beginning at the age of 4. And we want to let you know that if you are triggered by anything that is said, if you need support, maybe something didn't trigger you, but you're on here today and you need support, I want you to know that there are mental health professionals in our audience right now to assist you. Please inbox me. They're also giving that invitation, if you see it in the chat, to inbox them. We are here to support you. We are here to support you. You are not alone. You don't have to go through this alone. I'm also having tickering at the bottom of our screen today that you can call a text. You could call a text 988, or you can chat 988lifeline.org for uh, for support. So there's two ways that you can get support today if you're watching. Even if you catch this in the replay, please inbox. I will make sure that you get in contact with one of our mental health professionals. Okay. You are not alone. You don't have to navigate this thing alone. Healing is possible. Hallelujah. Healing is possible, and it's here for you. God, the divine, and whoever you call your higher being wants this to happen for you. Wants this to happen for you.
Absolutely.
We have
Absolutely.
pastoral care professionals and mental health professionals in the audience right now that are ready, that are here specifically to support you. Thank you so much,
Mm.
Danny. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break. Listen to people on Instagram. And I wish I could show these Instagram comments. Trisha says, you're speaking about my mother as well. Yeah, Alexandria talked about her mother, right? Her mother abandoned her. Yeah, we're gonna have a discussion about this because it is necessary. It is necessary. We're gonna take a quick break for Danny to catch her breath, take a sip of her kombucha, and we will be right back with more conversation. Oh my gosh. Thank you again, all of you, for joining us today. We're going to do what we came to do in this break. We want to do 2 women business spotlights, and then we're going to get right back into our conversation. So first up, it is Tanya Franklin, Chief Publicist of MJS Communications. MJS Communications is a virtual marketing and PR company serving small businesses in the food, beverage, literary, and wellness industries, ready to amplify their brand awareness through media exposure and marketing strategies to transform that exposure to revenue opportunities. And so if you are interested in connecting with Tanya Franklin, you can head over to our website at tanyathebrandceo.com. Email her at tanya@mjsvirtualservices.com. And you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Just type in MJS Communications PR, or MJS Virtual Services. You will find Tanya all over the place on social media. If you're interested in virtual marketing and PR for your company, please go ahead and contact Tanya. Also, love to share Asante is the founder and host of Master Breakthrough Life Coaching. She is an award-winning journalist, success planner, business coach, author of 7 books, TV personality, internationally celebrated speaker. She has worked with politicians, high-profile celebrities, nonprofit executives, corporate leaders, and anyone who wants to catapult a dream, project, business, or goal. Through her signature business elevator, she has helped women and men take their goals from the ground floor to the Forbes list. If your business has hit a plateau and needs resuscitation, or if you're burnt out and simply need a professional or personal reboot, love will help you get on track. For more information about her business, you can visit her website at www.officialtashiaasante.com or email her at jasiyasante@gmail.com. I want to remind you that we are having our free promotion for women-owned businesses on Inspire. Next week is the last week, so get your businesses in. If you want it spotlighted for free, we spotlight it live on Saturdays, and we also push it out on social media during the week. Next week is the last week. It's the last weekend in April. And so we want to get your women-owned businesses in honor of Black Women's History Month. So feel free to email me at sue@getinspired.live. Sue@getinspired.live. Thank you again for joining us. We are going to get back into our conversation with the amazing, amazing DANI. Welcome back, DANI. Welcome back, DANI. Thank you again for joining us. Let's talk about Miss Greenleaf, who has joined us on Instagram, right? And I showed, you mentioned her before, and I showed her picture. Let's see if I can find it again.
Yeah.
That's Miss Greenleaf,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
how did her role in your life growing up speak to the necessity of teachers, right, who see and hear and listen to their students?
Well, let me just first say, Joycey, I love you. I'm celebrating her all year. We're getting ready to have our uh, seventh reunion. So that goes to speak for Joycey just turned 80. And my
Wow.
biggest goal, thank God for social media, was, oh my God, please let me find Joyce. Please let me find Joyce. Please let me find Joyce. Because, she had moved out to California. Of course, after the sixth grade, I was a kid. I didn't know how to find her. Then I went on my journey. She went on her journey and she left this side. She went out to Cali. I found out years later that she was doing these reunions with some of the other kids because she was teaching in New York 58 years ago.
Wow.
I was in her class 40 something years ago. So, bam, I saw the reunion. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. She's there. She's on Facebook. Oh my Lord. So I went to one of the reunions and, I was still, in my, oh, I'm ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But I said, you know what? Let me contact her. Right. And I said, Joyce, you have no idea the impact that you've made upon my life. Because those who read the book, or as you know, I didn't share with her what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But her innate ability and her love for teaching and connecting with her students, I don't think she realizes the impact that she had amongst us, Well, no, I think she does. You know why? Because we still do this reunion. And again, this is the seventh one. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking to really big up some stuff. But I said, I manifested this. And I said, I knew she was a Scorpio. I knew she was, and we're both Scorpios. I
Uh-huh.
didn't know what her age was going to be, but I knew her birthday was coming up last year when I started writing my book. And I reached out to her and I said, listen, I need some more information about you. I said, because I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and it's time for it to come out. And I wanted to gift her with the book for her 80th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
did. And she's been an amazing support. I'm hoping that I can immortalize the impact that teacher student relationship is so very important, because you never know what these kids are bringing from home to class. And I know
Well,
it's so overwhelming to be a teacher, especially nowadays. I really,
yeah.
really do. But prayerfully, if someone grabs that book and reads the desperate need that I had for somebody to hear me, for somebody to just know help without me having to say it, but the impact that she made upon my life is why I'm still sitting here today. I know that from the depths of my soul. I know that she was one of those angels that God put into my life to bring
Yeah.
me through that time, because I really did not want to exist anymore. But when I stepped into her classroom and the way she made us feel, the way she poured into us, the love that she had for us. Now, she was no nonsense, not definitely not a pushover,
Mhm.
but she loved us. She wanted the best for us, and she wanted us to learn. And
Mhm.
that was important.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Greenleaf. Thank you. And I see you over there on Instagram. We so appreciate you. And thank you, Miss Greenleaf, and for all the Miss Greenleafs in the world. We so appreciate you. Deeply, deeply
Let,
appreciate
let me
you.
just let me just share this last little tidbit about
Yeah.
Joyce, right? Look, us students that get together at Harlem Tavern, we're going in the day after Mother's Day, May 13th, Harlem Tavern up in New York, right? And we're in our 60s, 50s, 60s, and we make it our business to go and to celebrate her. And this year, the celebration is because her birthday was 6 months earlier, that we're all going to be there celebrating her birthday and celebrating her legacy. 58 years later, 40 something years later,
Mhm.
that goes to speak for the impact that she had on these little inner city kids
Yeah.
from Harlem. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Important.
Wow.
Important.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing about precious Joycey, Miss
Yeah.
Greenleaf. So
Yeah.
Pastor Joyce has asked that you speak to the warning signs and or symptoms to pay attention to from abusers or predators, like the signs to watch out for.
Well, most sexual predators, and we're not going to say all of them are pedophiles because they're not. Some of them, for some strange reason, it won't click in their mind to bother a kid. But conversations become very playful and sexual. Touchy feely in places where they shouldn't be touchy feely. Always wanting to put a child on their lap in certain areas that's just not acceptable, even as a father. I am ooh, I am so very vivid, and vigilant when it comes to, when I have men and women around me that do certain things. I'm like, no. And then I'll let the mother know or whatever, yo, maybe you need to check that because that just don't feel right. That don't look right to me. And maybe you
Mhm.
need to shut that down. I don't care if it is the father, the stepfather, the uncle, the whoever. Because the people that molested me at that
Mm.
time in my life were all close to me, and they were all people who were supposed to be nurturing and protecting me.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
put in their care for them to do that, and they did the total opposite. If a
Yeah.
child is rearing back and crying real, and they don't want to go with a person, that's a hello red flag. Listen to your kid. Don't
Yes.
always
Ooh,
just want to
listen
dump
to your
somebody off
kid.
on free babysitters. Sorry, no, I'm not doing that. If that kid is putting that much of a fit to go around that person, hello, hello. They're trying to tell you something. They might not be able to use their outer voice.
Yes.
No, maybe you need to not go to the club tonight. Maybe you need to not go on that date tonight. Maybe
Come
you need
on.
to sit still with your kid. Maybe you need to just open up a conversation, take them on a date and find out why that person makes their hair stand up should make your hair stand up.
Yes. 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 This is so true, Nikita. Also think people bypass women being sexual predators.
Absolutely. They are too. They are too. It's in my book. They are
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. It is really important to pay attention, right? Not just to a child that's being resistant to going with someone, but pay attention to how their grades are in school. If they're
Yep.
always if they were,
Yep.
I'm talking about myself. Well, I'm straight
Hmm.
A student, right? Skipping class, and all of a sudden the grades drop. all of a sudden they're acting out. All of a sudden they're cutting school, doing things that they never did before. Something is happening.
Something is happening. Something, something is
Something is
happening.
happening.
It's all in here. Something is happening.
Right. Changing
If they
moods,
if they love if they
behaviors.
love the animals and now all of a sudden they pulling or they throwing the cat across the room or they kicking the dog or something, that's a
Something is
sign.
happening. Yes, it is a
They're
sign.
talking to you. You might be, and I understand. God knows I understand, especially in this day and age. It's a two-parent household. Both parents have to work, sometimes more than one job. I get all of that. But if
Mhm.
you have these beautiful little souls, protect them,
Yes.
love them, nurture them, listen to them, give them a reason to feel okay coming and talking to you. So this way, when that stuff has changed or somebody's doing something that's not right, or they just in a place where they're confused. I, I
Right.
I had feelings for the same sex. I was same gender loving it more before I was even molested. But understand something, I was confused. I couldn't, these thoughts, growing up, going to, the rites of passage, all of that is confusion enough. And then you add some abuse to it.
Yeah.
We're talking kids. I don't
Yeah.
care that social media gives them so much. As the day goes by, the kids will be wiser but weaker. Yes, we're giving them more information, but no, their little minds still cannot absorb all of the information that they're getting. It's
Mm.
sensory overload. Listen to
Yeah.
your kid.
Listen to your
Listen to
kid.
your sister who's not a kid,
Come on.
who hasn't dealt with it yet, but you don't know.
Yeah.
But you see behaviors that you're like, okay, maybe something is going on. Listen to your brother, who all of
Hmm.
a sudden is just an angry male walking around. We got enough of them walking around the planet and not knowing. Then we tell them don't cry. Why? Real men cry. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? It's got to come out somehow. Listen, until we learn how to love on ourselves and love on our brother like ourselves, we're going to stay in the pickle that this world is in right now.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Listen. Yes. Dave says, I cry all the time. It's therapeutic. Thank you for your voice. Hey, hey, MIT Nala. Thank you for your voice and guidance. Listen,
Love
this
y'all.
this
Love
has been
y'all. My
this
Rivers babies. I love y'all.
has been amazing. Near the end of the book, there's a quote that says, "Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if only one remembers to turn on the light." How can one remember to turn the light on in their life?
Stop. Stop. And what I mean by that is life gets so overwhelming. We put everything on our plate, especially, and this is not to denounce the men, but especially women.
Mhm.
Nowadays, we are the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. We make the bacon, we bring it home, we fry it up, we feed the kid, we make sure that the dog and the cat go to the vet. But you see, all of that just sounds alike a lot, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Eventually, it's going to make you unhappy. Eventually, it's going to overwhelm you. And if you already have some trauma that you're either dealing with little by little or haven't dealt with, and you put all of that on top of your plate to try to drown out the trauma, it becomes dark, right? And you become unhappy. Stop doing what you're doing because obviously you're doing the most.
Mm. Mm. Doing the
You
most.
come after God. So pain is the indicator of something wrong, right? So if I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I done paid all the bills. I done did this. I done did that. I done made sure you all right. I done did, and I'm just not happy. What are you not doing for you? What
Mm.
are you doing
Woo,
too much
Jesus.
of for you? You understand what I'm saying? Like God will give you a ram in the bush every single time. He'll give you a ram in the bush. But sometimes the bush ain't the bush that you thought the ram was supposed to be in, and you miss it. He's always going to give you an out. There's 3 seconds between death and life. Okay. If I pull that trigger, it takes me 3 seconds to pull that trigger, right? Sometimes that trigger is right up here in my head. I don't
Mm.
stop, drop, and roll for me. So the fire starts to burn when there was a ram right over there that you could have put there as the sacrifice.
Stop, drop, and roll for yourself. Wow.
Ask me how I know. After having a nervous breakdown and relapsing, I'm telling you, yo, that was one of the biggest, greatest hurdles and hurts that I had to go through in my life. Like y'all was sitting next to me on the front pew. Y'all were right in front of me in the pulpit, and y'all didn't know that I was not here. I
Mm.
was, I was, I was gone. I was in a place. And until I was able to stop, drop, and roll, I couldn't get out of the abyss that I was in, and I was overwhelmed. I was so seriously overwhelmed, and I didn't know how to say I'm overwhelmed. And there's so many like cops out here. There's so many pastors out here. There's so many bishops and stuff out here that are on the brink. Okay, for the sake of God and healing the world, we're on the brink of losing our mind, and people around us might see it, but because we're not verbalizing and we're not stop, dropping, and rolling,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the whole world around us is burning, and it's burning us down and out. And
Yes.
it's unfortunate, but even even healers have to heal themselves.
Yes.
Healer, heal
Yes.
yourself, heal yourself, heal yourself. It's so very important. You can't look how RuPaul says it best, and I love to use this analogy. How the hell you gonna love someone else if you ain't loving yourself first?
Right. Or at least working on it.
That part. You gotta
Or
start.
at least
You gotta start
doing the
somewhere.
work. Right. 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 That's right. Healers need doctors too.
You know?
Healers need doctors too. Oh my
How do
gosh.
you eat an elephant? One forkful at a time.
One forkful at a time. This has been such a powerful, like, I don't even want it to end. Ooh, such a problem, but you're working on a part two, and we will
Yes.
definitely have you back. Once again, you have been hanging out with us on Inspire. We've been talking to the phenomenal DANI, who's the author of Pretty Little Bastard Child. And if you have heard something today that may have triggered you, if you need support today, we have mental health professionals in our audience right now that are ready to speak with you, And so please inbox me. They've also given out the invitation on social media that if you need support, if you need someone to listen to you, they are there. You do not have to navigate this alone. And if you have not started addressing your trauma, haven't started yet healing, if you've been kind of doing all the things to numb the pain, if you're doing things to ignore it, listen, it comes out. It comes out in the most unexpected and inopportune ways, right?
Yeah.
Please take us up on this offer. You could
Absolutely.
also call or text 988 or chat the 988lifeline.org. Uh, Pastor Joyce has also put this number inside of the chat, 877-386-3806. If you need support is available. You don't have to leave this broadcast, whether you're watching it live or catching it in the replay. You don't have to leave this broadcast without any help, right? Help is available for you. And we want to make sure that you have it. Thank you so much, DANI. We're going to do our book giveaway. If you have not done so already, make sure that you tag the hashtag inspire. Make sure it's hashtag inspire. Type it right now. Make sure you don't add that D to the end for a signed copy.
Oh,
Of
and I'm gonna throw some icing on that cake for
uh-huh.
anybody, for the first 5 people who buy the book today. I'm gonna throw in a free bookmark And the first one that buys a book today directly from me, you'll get a free Pretty Little Bastard Child t-shirt. Let me see if I can. Yeah, yeah. Wait a minute, where that? Hold on. There you
Oh,
go.
but I should have had mine with me. But yes, yes. And I
Yeah,
love
Pretty
what it
Little
says on
Bastard
the
Child
back.
t-shirt. And on the
Yes.
back of it, it says your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. The
Your
first
healing is
one that
your
says, Deacon
responsibility.
Danny, I want to buy a book right now. You'll get a free t-shirt, and the first 5 will get free bookmarks.
Okay, so what? So I put a Amazon link in the chat. Where can they purchase it directly from you right now?
Directly from me. Tell them they have to go to any of my socials today only. Inbox me on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. I want to buy a book. Bam. The first one I see up there, that's the first one that's going to get a free t-shirt with their book. And out of the first 5 that come up, I am going to you can also go to my website, but the special is directly through me today only. So
Well, we have people in the chat right now, so you already see them.
yeah, I do.
So Sister
So
Bonnie says that she wants the book,
yep, yep.
and I will make sure that that she gets your information.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So
and
whoever
purchase
the
it.
first,
Listen, purchase it for yourself. Purchase it for
yes,
someone else as well.
yes,
Um,
yes.
phew, this is a phenomenal read. Miss Greenleaf said, "It is an honor to be here." This is what she said on Instagram. "It is an honor to be here. I always wanted to help my students believe in themselves and reach their potential and beyond. I am so proud of Danny. I am so proud of Danny." And Trisha says, "I've learned it's never too late to start your healing." It is never too late
That
to
part.
start your healing. Alexandria wants to purchase one as well. So you have two. Well, and uh, also Maya. Listen. Give me your it's author
I
Danny,
am
yeah?
at authordanny.d3 on Instagram, and I am at Danielle N. Dubois Matthews on Facebook. Okay, so either one of those. You don't have to be, both of my pages are public, so you don't necessarily have to be a friend. I just need to get that inbox, and the first inbox I see is getting a free t-shirt. Just make sure you put in your size. As soon as I get your information, I'll hit you on how all the different ways you can pay: PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, you know.
And I've put the Facebook link inside of the chat for you as well. Let me just go over and do it on Instagram. Yeah, they don't have it yet, so that you can. They
Yeah,
don't have it
Instagram
so you
got to,
can
they
just
got
do
to
it.
get with it. They got
Yeah,
to
but
get with it.
so you got to do it separately.
That's
All right,
okay.
so we are
All
getting
right.
ready to do our book drawing. Make sure you check those links out. I put the Amazon link. I've also put Danny's IG and also Danny's Facebook inside of the chat. And they're welcoming you to TFAM's Leadership Conference in August.
Oh, well, thank you so very much. I will look. Tell me what to do, and I'll be there.
So let's get this giveaway happening right now. All right, I hope everyone has put that inspired in. Let's see who won. Minister Sandy Hudson. Minister
All
Sandy
right,
Hudson.
you will just make sure I get her information,
Yes,
Sue, and
please
she will.
inbox me. Yeah, please inbox me with your information so that I can make sure to get that over to Danny so that
Gotcha,
you can receive a
gotcha.
copy of this book, a signed copy of the book. Danny, thank you
I
so
will be
much.
sending it to you. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Minister Sue. I'm gonna call you Sue, Queen, my sister, because I knew you before you was a minister, girl. Uh, but I
Who
knew
would
it
have
was
thought
in
I'll
you.
be who would have
I
think
knew it was
I'll
in
be
you.
ordained and stuff, child? Well, I didn't.
My little sister, always love, always love. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you for the healing that has taken place on Inspire today. This is why Inspire exists. This is why Inspire exists, and so I'm so grateful that you took the time to hang out with me
Thank you.
today. And we will talk again. We'll have you back. We're definitely going to have you back.
Last thing I need to say, I'm gonna give y'all a smile because it don't cost me nothing. Now I need you to do one thing.
Mhm.
Pay it forward, damn it, because it don't cost you nothing.
Pay it forward because it
Peace.
don't cost you.
I love you.
Love you. Oh my gosh. Such an amazing conversation with Danny. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to all of our mental health professionals who sat in the audience and offered and provided support for our viewers. Please, please utilize them. Utilize them even after we end our live today. If you need support, please reach out. I will make sure I get your information to one of our mental health professionals. And again, you can also call or text 988, or you can chat 988lifeline.org if you need support. It has been such a wonderfully healing process on Inspire today. And I look forward to having many more times like this with each of you. I look forward to seeing you next week. We are closing out our Black Women's History Month with Vaughn Williams. She is your business and money coach. And so if you are in business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you just want to learn how to navigate money, she has written a book called the 87-Day MBA, and she'll be here to talk about her book. And I want you to join us next week, Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern on all the social media channels. Until next time, I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated. And most of all, I want you to stay inspired. I'll see you next week.